Super excited for today, you guys. We had some crazy moves over the last couple days with Bitcoin. We also had some moves for the Great Britain pound, the US dollar in general, and I want to go over all these things and give my point of view and what we think or what I believe that price is going to be going in the near future. So going straight into it, you guys, I'm going to actually mark down a couple of things. I'm not going to turn off volume because I hear myself in the headphones. So that being said, I'm going to continue with this. I'm going to show you exactly where I think price is going to be going into the next couple of days. So as you guys know that I do have a trading style that I like to go about. You guys know that my trading style is about psychological numbers. I like to look for breakouts. I like to look for counter reversals, and I like to go exactly against the normal, right? I like to go where most people aren't looking to go because I want to go where the proprietary investors are going, where the banks and institutions like to go for maximizing their liquidity and trapping a lot of market makers, which are the retail traders like you and I. So with this being said, I like to look at things a little differently, and I've been doing this for some time now, so it's been very it's been a very successful strategy. So that being said, I wanted to see how I want to show you guys what I believe is going on with US dollar Japanese yen, and I'm going to go straight into why I believe the US dollar Japanese yen is going into this direction. Make sure that I'm all streamed up. Okay, perfect. So the US dollar Japanese yen is moving into a bullish momentum, as we can see. So if we're onto the hourly chart, let me just actually make this broader. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So as we can see that the US dollar Japanese yen is going up, we can see that it's a bullish continuation. For the most part, this is where a lot of people went long from this bullish breakout at 109,500. They saw that retracement at that moving average, so then they're going long. Well, now that a lot of this coming into play, a lot of people are talking about the bullish being, the dollar being strong. How the Fed chairman said that everything's looking good. We're having a sustainable economy. Everything is going forward. Well, they said that in 2008 or 2007, excuse me, before the market crashed. They won't give you time to correct because they know that they have a lot of deals on the table that will make them a lot of money if they short the market. And a lot of people didn't know about it. So, from my opinion and my ideology, what I believe price is going to be moving into the near future with the US dollar is that it's going to be going in the downwards, right? We have February, so February is usually the turning curve and the plateau to where the direction of the market will go for the remainder of the next 6 to 8 months, figuratively. So when I see this, I can calculate some of these formulations on just last year's market structures. So we saw obviously a bullish dollar last year. We saw a lot of momentum, and then at the end of the year, we saw a bearish drop off, right? And then a lot of people forgot about it because it's already been 2 months. That's why they take time for you to forget, right? Just like, for instance, so we can't remember that, or we can't forget that we had a huge bearish breakout, right? To the downside, which obviously was a huge percentage value to the downside, right? And then we have a momentum to the upside. So this momentum to the upside is basically giving us some type of reassurance that the market could possibly be going back to normal, right? This is called a bull trap, right? So a bull trap is meaning that a lot of similarities with the stock market or with the currency markets or any markets in general is that it's based off energetic vibrations, right? Energetic vibrations is what correlates into the markets because we are triggered by neuroreceptors, which is evidently controlled by energy, right? So what happens is that a lot of these faculties come into fruition after a long time of patience, right? So a thing about our society, or I could say about the United States, is that we're impatient, right? We like instant gratification, and it's worldwide. Instant gratification is becoming something of a norm. So with this instant gratification and with this normal, this foundation, a lot of people are looking to find the quickest way to make a buck, a quickest way to make money, right? So that's why a lot of people went into Bitcoin. That's why a lot of people went into other adversaries that obviously were supposed to be very get-rich-quick scheme. That being said, they don't know the structure behind that, right? Get-rich-quick schemes can essentially work for you, but you have to be at that vibration of what is manifesting. You can't be living in fear and doubt and worry and then expect $1 million to come somewhat in your bank account. It doesn't matter because whatever you align yourself with is what you get in this world. That's period. Everything is vibration. So why I say this stuff, you guys, is because it's important because this is how I trade the markets. I trade using I would say not quantum mechanics or not quantum or neuroscience. I use it by just really just going off the vibration of what the market is giving me, right? What I believe is telling me. So, for instance, so what I see now is that price has basically been trapped a lot of bullish liquidity because a lot of people were obviously got destroyed in this bearish runoff, right? So this bearish runoff gave a lot of people to induce a sell trap, right? Or basically did sell them, and then gave all the people that were shorts, basically in the markets that didn't have. Hey, how's it going, Michael? Good to see you. Looks accumulation phase for a big move. Yeah. So the accumulation phase. So this is where I want to talk to you guys about on my opinion. Obviously, this is just my opinion. So the accumulation phase is essentially, so if we went to, yeah, it could be, you're right, Michael, it does look like something of the accumulation phase, but we'll go into it and I'll tell you what exactly, what I believe in the short term. So we can see the market has showed a lot of time full of bullish percentages, right? So I'm going to just look at the date and price. So you can see that it's about 42 days, right, of basically bullish or ranging consolidation or market momentum, about a 500 pip market range, right? We can even go lower because it's not essentially 500 pips, like 450 pips, about almost 500 pips, give or take some, right? So that being said, why would the market? We already know that the market is definitely going to be on a bearish correction soon, right? So I know for a fact that the market is definitely going to the downside. My belief, right? I believe that this is just inducing traders to go long for a very short time just to trap them once again, right? So I look at this and I look at USD Japanese yen, and what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing all this as liquidity trap. Look at USD CAD, same example. I'll show you exactly what USD CAD did. It did the same thing. And this is where a lot of people get caught up in these trades and lose a lot of money. So we'll go into USD CAD and I'll show you exactly what I mean by this. So we see that USD CAD, and I'll go to the daily chart. So USD CAD did the same thing last year, right? They built liquidity, right? Bearish drop, built liquidity, right? And then guess what they did? Same thing as USD JPY is doing right now, right? Trapping buyers in this full area for a year, right? Easiest way to make people money, right? For banks and institutions to make money. Expose their books for a year to take it back the next year, right? In a small fraction of the time, and then shift the market. So then at the end of the day, it won't give them time to be able to, formulate a plan. And then at the end of the day, they're making the most money. So that is what's basically happening now. That's why when I see this ranging bar, I'm like, there's no way the market's going to break out of this area. There's definitely not going to, it's going to go short. So for instance, we looked at April 15th, which I talked about. So April 15th, right? This is when the bullish segment started, right? April till May of 2017, right? So then we saw a bullish, obviously, micro trend. And then obviously in a couple months, it took back all those traders' stop losses. Well, then we can look at USD JPY. It's literally doing the same thing. Like, I wouldn't doubt that it's going to do that honestly, if you look at it, it's the same thing. Just a little bit higher, just a little bit more spike to the upside. But really, if you look at it, it's the same thing. Market price is going to shoot up, retest breakout area, which is obviously this segment right here. Breakout area was at, 111. That's when we had the fall off. Retest that high. And then shoot to the downside and retest the low. So this is obviously something that I look for when I'm trading the markets, and when I look for when I'm making positions, because obviously I want to short this really bad. I'm already in this position, but I want to this is a big position that I would obviously love to take more, and to look to obviously build a lot more profit on this. Because if you think about it, you guys, what I see right here is a perfect example of a bull trap. All they're trying to do is saying back to normal, because obviously come back down, back to the normal phase. Accumulation phase is a possibility, Michael, but if we look at it from a just an accumulation structure, accumulation phase takes a lot longer. Accumulation phase takes a lot longer to formulate, right? Accumulation phase takes, you know, there's not a lot of, it's not a like straight down, straight up. It's more like makes a peak formation type because it wants to build up a lot more liquidity. If they're just trying to trap liquidity, they're going to spike to the down, spike up, and then spike back down because that will give them enough time to make profits instead of having a bunch of liquidity trapped in one area to just move price into a second area. So this is what I see in the near future. Our price is going to drop back and break all these previous long positions and then move lower. So that's my analysis with the USD JPY and the reason why I believe that is because a lot of the things are just turning into and it just correlates a lot to what I believe on that factor. So this is the same thing. We were in this trade earlier. I had a trailing stop, so I got out earlier in this position. But we can see the moving averages are all coming in together, right, on the daily chart. So we're definitely going to see a spike. So we're definitely going to see a huge breakout to the upside, breaking previous highs where a lot of people are having their sell orders still hit. Everybody's selling right now, right? So give people time to sell, right? Accumulation. This is more of a accumulation phase, Michael. This is more of accumulation phase because this phase it gives us way more credibility because we have so much accumulation here. It's not like super straight up and super straight down like the USD JPY, which shows here. This is just straight up, straight down. It's giving us more foundation where it's showing us peak formation, market anchor leg, and then eventually we're going to see a breakout to the high to retest these previous structure highs, and then eventually, hopefully, you know, we'll see a bullish breakout to the upside for greater than a pound. So when I see this formations, when I see these different type of trades, I'm looking at it, it's like, wow, this looks like a trap. They're trying to trap right now as much U.S. buyers as possible right now. Like I was on Forex.com last night, and I was looking at all these people. They're like, oh yeah, bullish dollar, like everything's bullish dollar. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? No, the dollar's not bullish. We just had a huge drop. This is just a consolidation point for a breakdown. Once again, like this isn't this. I mean, I can see U.S. Treasury bonds hitting 2.5 by like May. So like, you know, like I theoretically, or even earlier than that, I don't see the market going. I mean, the market already broke its structure. It already broke, right? We look at this level to show the foundation of a structure. If it breaks this level, right, which it did, we're essentially looking for a bearish trend now, right? So I'm not going long dollar right now. That would be I would never go long dollar right now. Why would I do that? That shows me the dollar is definitely not long. If anything, it's the worst time to buy the dollar because it's just inflation right now. It's just inflated price marketing that they're doing to prop up a bunch of fraud that they covering up. The dollar is just basically overstimulated. It's an overstimulated currency. So all this overstimulated currency, the sovereign wealth fairs, the hedge funds are going to implement a bunch of money into the US dollar to offset price, and the price will then have to reoccur into a down cycle. And this down cycle will then have a refreshing period where then the US for instance, like US currencies, the US dollar, right, is 86.2% of all transactions. 60% of all central reserves, which is obviously the private funding of all governments, right, across all countries, are 60% the dollar, right? Every other currency is less than. So if we want to look at it from a broader perspective, the dollar is just going into a refreshing period, or even worse than that, could be going into a recession period. But a refreshing is kind of the same thing. A refreshing period is basically when the high determining factor, the high determining currency has to refresh itself because it's been overstimulated for too long. So then it will have to go through these segments to move into a higher level, right? Like what goes down must come up, right? You have to have more pressure, right? Just think of law, right? If you want to go up higher or if you want to succeed more, you have to build more gravitational pull or build more pressure, right? That pressure is then built up to go higher, right? So the same thing is that we are obviously doing the same thing with the US dollar as it did in 2008, right? So if you look at previous price, we look at structure. So looks like giant with 61.8 retracement to the downside. USD JPY. Hey buddy, hope all is well. Thanks, I appreciate it, Justin. So when you allot peak, or excuse me, so when you allot peaks in a range is accumulation. So accumulation is when accumulation phase is basically at the top or at the bottom of whatever trend it is, right? So accumulation phase, for instance, I mean, I'm on the treasury bond, but this is accumulation phase. Accumulation phase is basically coming from whatever, a bullish trend to a bearish trend, or a bearish trend to a bullish trend. So this is an accumulation phase because we are coming from, evidently, probably coming from a bullish trend. Yes. So bullish trend, accumulation phase, right? And then we go into market up phase, which is here. And then we go into another, which is called the opposite, which is a distribution phase, which is the opposite of the accumulation phase, and then goes back down into market down phase, right? So, I mean, it can even be an inverse head and shoulders, I mean, or a head and shoulders in general. I mean, this looks like a head and shoulders, comes back, tests this level, and then maybe even move lower, but like, it gives a lot more foundation. And for instance, this market is for sure going to come back down to these levels. I mean, a lot of these things are formulating price in general, like they're very correlated together. So when I see these different elements, I want to just be able to give you guys an understanding that price makes predictable patterns all the time. We just have to understand the focus of it. So like accumulation phase is always the bottom of the trend, right? So it's the bottom of the trend before the trend starts, right? Then we have the mark up phase, which is basically the spike up to the high, right? And then the distribution phase is the end of that trend going into a reversal to the opposite side, right? Which is, then it comes down to the markdown phase, which we're in right now. That's why we're in a markdown phase right now for the US dollar. I'm not going to go long because all this is a false spike to the high, inducing traders to go long. That's why we make swing highs and swing lows, right? The only reason why the stock market makes swing highs and swing lows is because it's based off human vibrations, right? Human energetic vibration codes. So all we look for when we're looking for these essentially things is that when the market has been oversold or overbought, right? That's why stochastics has been correlated or been studied by scientists. The scientists study mathematics, but basically all this is showing you is that fear and greed, right, or prosperity and fear, right, abundance and the polarities of the universe. Everything has an opposite. So when we look at this, all I'm looking for is the market to look for one instance to the high, shoot to the high, and then correct to the downside, showing market price going lower. So like we see a huge moving average crossover at the daily chart. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, like this is definitely looking like a short for the US dollar as of right now, moving into further currencies or further months. So like I hope that makes more sense. So a big way to swing either side of the pendulum, the heavier the downfall evident to GFC. Exactly. So like when we look for these things, exactly, that's perfect. You even said it better than I could. So when we look for these simple things, that they show themselves all the time, right? We just have to be interconnected to it. Whatever we decide we want, we just have to be connected to it, and it will show us. So that's why, like when gold, I can see gold right now is just making a flag pattern, right? It's not really going, or say a symmetrical triangle or whatever you want to call it. It's just it's going to break to the upside still, right? Moving average crossover at the daily chart, right? We're still long right now. Right now, yeah, it's making a low. That's fine, but we're definitely still long. We just got to find the best possible buy position, which I found a pretty decent one. But we can find a better one, and I definitely see market hitting 1375, definitely soon. So like, and obviously that's where previous structure was at anyway. So like we talked about beforehand, market loves to break and retest or show previous structure. So we might see a drawback to the downside, and I can put a better entry there. So. It's all relevant. All these things are definitely going to come into fruition soon. So with USD CAD, even the USD CAD is showing spike to the high, you know, having that formation to the upside and then spike back to the low, shooting and breaking this previous structure. 3 hits to the trend, supposed to be a bullish trend or a trend in general, but no, the 3 hits to the trend and then they're breaking the stop because they're knowing that a lot of traders are long in this position right here, liquidity trap, and then eventually they're just going to break price down because they know so many people will be stopped out. That's how they keep their money in their pockets, and they keep us, you know, obviously trying to, you know, nickel and dime. So wait a swing. So yeah, so with Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin has definitely been showing. I definitely believe that Bitcoin's going to be going long right now. Even probably hit 45,000, but 4,500. You know, market likes to break and retest. Super simple. It's just building up pressure right now, just like we talked about. The more pressure you build, the higher you go. Just like the science behind that is everything. You know, it's universal. It happens in the stock market, happens in, you know, life. It doesn't matter. Like anything, build enough pressure, it will break out of some way, right? Opposites, doesn't matter. It can go one way or the wrong way or the right way. It just depends on how much pressure you're building up, and it depends if it's negative or positive pressure. It's essentially all relevant. So when we look for, you know, this, we're looking at this accumulation phase, right? Building up a pressure, and then finally the pressure will break out to either the upside or the downside. Do I believe the downside? No, I see more of the upside because the shift bar from this low, this shift bar right here is showing me a lot more credibility than a downside momentum. So when this shift bar happened, I definitely am looking more to go long than I am short, in my opinion. And then as well with Ethereum, I look the same way as well with the shift bar here. The shift bar kind of told me everything. That shift bar is like, hey, like we're looking to go long. We just need to give a little more time. You know, they're just talking to each other basically, and basically saying we're trying to go long. We're just waiting for enough build-up pressure, and then eventually we're gonna blow out right into these highs. So, or at least retest these previous highs. So, yeah, that's really a lot of most of the stuff I wanted to cover in today's live stream. Where I believe price is going to be going into the near future. Have traded a mini lot and let it run to see if direction is correct. I am tempted to. Depends. Yeah, depends your trading style, Michael. Depends on how you want to apply this. You know, I mean, I would co-sign for sure on a grip and a pound long trade. And then yeah, see how that goes for you. I try not to like use capital as bait anymore. I used to do that like in my early years of trading, but I just like more so just want to be more confident. Confidence obviously is really important. So like the more confident you are with your trades, you know, the more you'll be able to trust yourself on the positions you take. So that's just a huge thing, especially when you start managing accounts, or if you just want to be able to have heavier lot sizes and trade more money. It's just you just have to have unwavering confidence in yourself on the positions you take, because 90% of trading is mental. It's honestly mental. There's no like, as much as people want to give you these crazy programs that want to charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever, they could honestly, you could have the best trading strategy ever, but if you don't have the mindset to pull the trigger when it needs to be pulled, you will never be a profitable trader. It's all mindset. You have to trust yourself, and you have to trust the process on what you've been studying the whole time. You can't just and obviously you can't just come in this game and start like, you know, shooting shots. You're just gambling at that point. You got to, you know, study your craft, but at the same time you have to obviously be confident in your craft as well. You have to be confident in the positions you take, because, you know, I see a lot of traders are really smart, really intellectual people, but they're so not confident in their own like self, right, for their own positions. And that, I'm like, there's no way that you can be profitable then, because, you know, you have to be confident in the way that you take positions. It's just natural. Like, you have to have that that unwavering confidence. So yeah, so mental barriers are a big thing, guys. It's honestly probably the biggest thing that we have to go through when we're trading, right? Because trading is basically one of the hardest professions in the world. You know, they've said that they said it as one of the hardest professions in the world. So, you know, mentally, you know, spiritually, if you believe in spiritual guru, you know, I believe in it, so I'm really into spiritual consciousness. But as well as, you know, just aligning yourself to whatever you believe is possible, right? Like, for instance, things are very possible, you guys. We have, you know, everything that you want is very possible. You just got to be able to have that right mindset. And like Albert Einstein said, right, everything is energy, right? There's nothing to it. You just have to match the same frequency you want to be on, and it's by the laws of nature, you will have whatever frequency you match it on. So if you want to be a prosperous trader, right, if you want to believe that, if you believe you're a prosperous trader, and if you are confident in the trade you take, eventually you will be making money in the market. Like, by law of the universe, it will happen. Like, it's not a matter of like yes or no. It's just yes, you know. So like that's what honestly the mindset I try to keep myself at is, you know. And obviously you have to keep yourself there as well. So if your win in 50% of your reward is 2 times more than the risk, this will make you profitable. So if your win is 50% of and your risk is 2 times more than your risk. Oh, okay. Not really. So I mean, depends on, because everybody's trading style is different. So if your wins are 50% of the time, which is obviously okay, it's decent, it's very decent. And your reward is 2 times more than your risk. So if your reward is obviously 2 times more than your risk, you're doing a 2-to-1, right? So a 2-to-1 is not really that good of a risk management, right? You want to look for like 3-to-1s, 5-to-1s, 6-to-1s. But if you do a 2-to-1s, then yeah, you could possibly be a profitable trader. You won't be taking a crap load of money to the bank, I'll tell you that. You can't, because, you know, you'll be basically barely breaking even with a 50% win ratio with only a 2-to-1 strategy. Yeah, you won't be able to live off that. You'll still have to keep your day job. But if you trade like a high marginal account, or really trade like 6-to-1s, all right? And if you're a 65% winning trader, so I'm right now I think I'm at 68% wins. 68% of my trades are winning trades as of right now, calculated. So for me, I look for only trades that will give me 3 or higher, right? 3-to-1 or higher, right? Sometimes I will take a trade that will give me 2-to-1, but I have to be very confident with that trade, and I know, and I've seen it 1,000 times. Most of the time, I'm looking for 3-to-1s, 4-to-1s, 5-to-1s, 10-to-1s. I'm looking for the highest risk to reward possible. That being said, that will give that's how you become a profitable trader. That's how you become a full-time trader, because you will only have to take like 5-6 trades a day, right? Or if you have a high account or a larger account, say you're working with like 50 grand, right? If you have a $50,000 account, and you take, you know, 3 standard lots for 300 pips, right, a week, right? You'll be completely fine, right? That's 3K a week. So like, and that's very easy. I mean, we've done 300 pips last month with the trading signals. So it obviously has to do with risk management as well. But you know, if you can do that, then yeah, you could definitely be a full-time profitable trader, no problem. And obviously, like I said, it just comes down to mindset. And thanks, Matt. Thanks, Michael. I really appreciate it. So it just really comes down to like I said, your confidence in your mindset, because that's the biggest thing. Nothing is more important than your mindset. And I had to understand that hard. You know, I had to get that. I had to learn most of this stuff very hard, you guys. Like, I was a guy that basically just jumped into the water, you know, without any backbone. But you know, some people are different. I obviously I got it from my mom. Obviously, she was an entrepreneur as well. So like, I definitely didn't really have the fear of failing. I kind of just wanted to succeed and to have a prosperous life. I wanted to, you know, be able to take my girlfriend to, like, you know, wherever, like, travel. I wanted to have nice things. So like, obviously that was more, my faith in that was more powerful than my fear of failing, right? So that's why I think that when I transitioned to a trader, and I didn't even have that much money in the bank before I did that, I like had more faith in the process of that than I did the failure of that. So I think that that's why it was able to, the universe saw that I was working more towards my faith than my fears, and then I was attracting more of that, of abundance and prosperity, than I was attracting that fear, right? That's where it was mostly, that's what it was more so about. I think that's how it always works in any adversary or any thing that you put your mind to. I think whatever you focus mostly apart on, that will manifest. So like, theoretically. I mean, that's my opinion. That's what I believe. Do you keep a spreadsheet, log your trade results? Yeah. I keep a spreadsheet. I keep also like a back testing of like all the trades that I don't like or trades that I've taken that I didn't think were good trades. I have like I don't know, like this. I have an Excel spreadsheet. I keep it there, and obviously it's already on your trading log. If you guys use, whatever broker you use, you have a trading log that automatically keeps accountable for that. So, you can take away what trades you want or positions you want that will obviously reconcile with you, with what you believe and have. So, yeah. So this market tries to make you second guess what you see in front of you. Exactly. So yeah, a lot of the times the market will second guess, will make you second guess because that's why it comes to mindset, comes to you believing in yourself and having that confidence to just stay, in the game no matter what. But yeah, if you guys have any other comments and questions, please feel free to put in the stream. And if you guys have any other things you want me to look at while I'm on the stream, I will be looking at that now. And yeah, so really excited for this week. Similar brother jumped in with little to no knowledge, but have a will to desire to learn. Has worked in all other aspects of my life, and I will apply the same principles trading. Awesome, Justin. Yeah, Justin, you already seem like a very intellectual person that knows a lot, and you already seem like you already have that mindset on your shoulders. So I definitely believe that it's gonna work easy for you, completely. So just what other conversations we've had, in the comments and also in the chat. It seems like you already know a lot of this stuff, and I believe that you'll definitely be a full-time trader if that's what you like to do. Soon to, very, very soon, even this year possibly. So, Litecoin. So, want to look at Litecoin? Sure. So Litecoin is. So Litecoin is definitely looking like a little breakout to the high. This is a hard one to choose from because obviously I see looking at this, I see two things. I can see market price shift bar to the high, trap seller, and then move back to the downside. Easy. I can see that easily happening. Or I could possibly see market come back down, consolidate lower, trap to the low one more time, and then move back to the high. So I definitely don't see any bullish coming out of Litecoin as of right now. Definitely don't see that coming out of this area. I mean, there's no way I can see that a market will just come out of this and then spike back up. It's a possibility, but right now, the possibility is not. I'm not really sure about that. So, on that, I'm not really sure about exactly that trade right now. I don't really think that the market is going to be going any higher as of right now, but it could possibly can. I'm gonna take a look at this. I mean, we already see spikes at the high, so yeah, I don't really think I think the market's gonna shoot back to the downside right now and move back. So yeah, no problem, Justin, of course. So yeah, right now I really believe the price is gonna be going to the downside soon enough. I don't really see market going up any higher with Bitcoin. I hope that answers your question, Michael. And I could possibly put a trade if I look for it. Let me just calculate it. I'll probably go to the 15-minute chart. So let me just break down price, break this down, see it move to the downside. Yeah, I probably see, yeah, I don't see price moving up any higher as of right now. Could see another spike back to the high, but overall, I don't really see market price moving up that much higher for Bitcoin at this time. So BTC and obviously Ethereum, this is it's a possibility of what I believe was going to happen. So, you know, right now price is definitely showing already rejection at the 30-minute chart. So I'm definitely going to be looking to take out of those positions that I had, all those signals I had. For the bullish, it looks like they already had its run. So, you know, we could possibly be looking at bearish trend back to the downside once again. Looks like this is just a trap to go long once again to have another short. Maybe not that crazy, you guys. Could just be a market anchor leg, which means that price will definitely still go long, but it needs a little more short time or a little more short breakout before it moves to the upside. So I'm going to actually be on the Discord and give you guys my examples on what I believe price is going to be moving in the near future as well with these certain elements. So you'll see that I had a similar setup. So Litcoin was a good short opportunity, but a little late now. Yeah. So Litcoin, I mean, it looks nice. I just right now, I mean, it's already made a nice run. I don't want to get it. I don't want to get in when the run's already established. I mean, I just try not. I try not to do that because I don't really like a lot of drawdown, especially when I'm doing an intraday trade like this. It doesn't really set well with me. So, yeah, right now this is not where a trade I want to be taking. I don't really see a position to take right now, but in the near future, possibly a trade will come into fruition. But yeah, so really excited you guys about this upcoming week. BTC and also Ethereum. I'm gonna probably end those trades soon enough. I thought it was gonna be another spike to the high, but doesn't look promising. So I probably am gonna get out of those positions in the near future. And then let me see. Yeah, I think 3250 is like the next. I think that's a perfect position actually to take. So I'm definitely gonna be looking for an entry for entry for short for Ethereum for 32,500. That's a perfect risk to reward. Definitely gonna put that into the Discord. And then right now I'm still skeptical about BTC right now. But if I were to take a trade here, 3,570, and then my take profit will probably be at 3,500, excuse me. Come flat would probably be my take profit. So gonna just wait on this, you guys. Wait until I see a better signal. But these are just trades that I could see definitely being profitable trades coming into fruition soon enough. But yeah. So what has been your biggest drawdown? Man, I blow an account on a drawdown actually, to be honest, Justin. Or sorry, Michael. I've blown an account. I think this is 2017, 2016. It's like 2016. I think it was this time. Yeah, 2016. I had like a 20 grand account, and I was obviously I was trading it up. I traded up from I think it was like $3,000. I traded up to like 20 grand. So I thought it was like a hot shot. Obviously, this is where that mindset comes into fruition, right? I had an ego, so it was blinding me from my own reality. So then I started to trade heavy lots. I had like three 20. Basically I had 6 standard lots running on this AUD trade, and I obviously didn't know the market analysis as I did now, but I still knew enough, I felt like, to be obviously prosperous. So I did a trade on a Fibonacci retracement on 61.8 going bearish, and this thing just took off on me. Like, I think I draw down I think it was like a 220 pip loss or something like that. So yeah, I blew that account literally. I think it was 4 days or something like that. So I've had my fair share of cringy moments when I traded those type. That's why you guys, it's super important to not have that confidence, or that you can have confidence, which is great, but don't have an ego that blinds you from your own reality. That's a big one. Thing that I had to learn at a young age when I started trading was not to be blinded by my own ego, and not to be blinded by the future. Yeah, so that was one of my biggest, but my average drawdown, for a swing trade, it's about 20-30 pips average. My average drawdown for a scalp, probably 4 pips, 6 pips max. And my average drawdown for a trade that's 120 pips, 140 pips, it's about 15, 16, 17 pips. It's not really that much. I don't really have that crazy of drawdowns. Every once in a while I will. Like last week I had a pretty nice drawdown in the Great Britain pound US dollar, but I made it back up with those 2 trades that I put in the Discord as well. So even if I do have a pretty gnarly drawdown, or one that is a little more than expected, I usually, I won't say always, but I usually make it up within the next 1 or 2 trades. That's how I'm able to keep on doing this full time, because I don't my trade loss where I'm trading, I don't really lose more than 3 trades in a row or 4 trades in a row. It's very rare that I lose more than 4 trades in a row. So when I see those, it's just I automatically know where the positions will go, and then I obviously just sometimes I get in a little bigger because I know that, and this is obviously with money that I've already made profit on. If I'm just obviously on my base capital, then heck no. You know, this is your livelihood. But you know, yeah, I'm already in position. I'm already in profit. And I'm working off my profit trades and my profit money. Then yeah, I'll just large in another scale in and then make that money back and then just go back to my normal risk management. So it's okay to get out of your risk management sometimes, right? You know, but it's definitely not okay to be doing it all the time because you will blow your account. It's for sure you will blow your account. So yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I definitely got a spanking for sure. That was one to sit some tea with and meditate because Jesus, I mean, 4 days, 20 grand. That's a lot of money for some people. You know, some people don't even see that in a year. So that was mentally. That's why I say it's all about mentally. You got to be able to disconnect yourself from your own materialistic ideology. You have to disconnect yourself because if you don't, your emotions will get the best of you at one point. You will eventually overtrade one day. You will, you know, take a position out of fear. You will take a position out of anger. You'll take a position out of greed. Your emotions will get the best out of you eventually. So you are trading your emotion system. So the trades you see the trades that you know that I usually trade are based off my you know energetic vibration, what I believe is true or not. And I just, you know, I ask myself, is this a good trade or not? And then I take the trade. I usually don't take trades just to, you know, take a trade. I usually have to sit down and connect with them. That's why, you know, a lot of my trades, you know, are accurate. And if they're not accurate, they're usually just a day or a couple days early. So, yeah, you guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to put in the comments. I really enjoy you guys' company today, and enjoy you guys being on today's live stream. Talking some really good knowledge, and you guys are killing it as well, you know, with the questions as well. So if you guys have anything else, please feel free to, you know, put into the Discord or put into the stream as well. And I'm going to get off in the near future. I just want to be able to go on the Discord and put in a couple signals if they are available yet. But yeah, guys, I want to see if so it looks like a W formation, but there's not enough pressure. Because usually when a W formation is established, there's a lot more lows than highs because it needs to have more lower formations to break to the high. So the fact that it's just scaling up straight into this high shows that there's not a lot of momentum to the upside. And I know that the market's probably going to push back to the downside. Kind of like a triple top. We've seen this at the US dollar, Japanese yen, 2016. We saw 3 hits to the high and then a huge drop to the downside. I'll show you guys right now. Saw 3 hits to the high, exactly the same thing, right? I mean, 2017 and 2016 and 2018. So we can see right here. Oops. Same thing here, right? W formation, hit to the high, and then drop to the downside. Same thing here. W formation, hit to the high, and then drop down here. So same thing we see here with bonds. Comes up and then move back to the downside. So buying opportunity though, or shorting opportunities though, I like it because it's just like, all right, yeah, give me more time to short. I mean, I want to see this. Like I want to have a better stance when it comes to trading. So yeah. So moving forward. So greater than pound JPY. Sure, yeah, so greater than pound JPY. For some reason it's not showing up. There it is. So greater than pound JPY. Spike, it's gonna go to the high. Breakout, it's just a flag pattern. Definitely shoot breakout to the high. Definitely breakout to the high. You know, probably divergence here. If I put a stochastics, probably I can already probably see lower lows and a higher high stochastics. Flag pattern already showing nice confidence level at the 200 EMA. Breakout to the high. Retest structure 146.000 after that consolidation, and then keep on continuation to the upside. So yeah, that's where I see price going into the near future with greater than pound Japanese yen. So I'll just map it out for you to give you a better understanding. So swing low, making peak formation, consolidate price, making flag pattern, at structure level. So whenever a flag pattern or a pennant is at structure level, it's 90% going to bring a breakout to the upside or the downside, depends on where this trend's going to be. So moving into that, usually when you see a lower low, we probably see, so I'll probably even show you guys a stochastic. So if we see a stochastics. So put the stochastics RSI out there, right? See our lower low, see already divergence, higher high, formulation of price, giving it more momentum, pressure being built up, flag pattern, accumulation next to the moving averages, breakout to the upside. Then these moving averages will then show consistent support for a bullish momentum, kind of like a stop one as well. You can see it both ways, but yeah, that's where I see price gripping and pound checking. Yeah, thank you for the stream. Got to run. Hey, no problem, Justin. Talk to you soon, man. So yeah, that's where I see price moving into the near future. But yeah, and stochastic is also low as well on the daily chart, so that's a huge factor as well. But yeah, that's where I believe price is going to be going into the near future for gripping and pound checking this year. So if you guys have any further questions, please put in the Discord. I'm going to have some more signals open today, and I'm going to actually run and do a couple things before I get back to the charts today. But yeah, if you guys have anything else, you know where to reach me, and I will see you guys on Friday. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye.